you started to pay much more attention to your feeling and really kind of focus on how it feels when you're moving rather than how it looks. So did you feel like you had to there's a time where you had to adapt to this because I can imagine the outcome that you were looking for didn't happen overnight. So what was your process to make sure that you get the result that you were looking for?
Yeah, the process started like that. I step by step I couldn't be so much in the scene anymore, you know. After the really big crash happened, I was off maybe for like 1.5 year.
Yeah, I think something
Like something like 1.5. And I remember back then that it was like jumping from one dock to the next one, and they were all tell me you gotta stop dancing, you gotta stop doing what you do and fix another way, you know, how you gonna live. And I back then I remember I told Martha, look, I was like feeling really, really bad, you know, and especially when you decide this is what you want to do, you know. And
Yeah,
this was
of course.
exactly the time, like, yeah, I never wanted to be a dancer. I was like, no, I love it, but I don't want to like do it all the time, you know, like I want to have a normal job and all this kind of things. I didn't saw myself as an artist.
Yeah.
But then this happened and be like, oh, damn, I made some big mistake in my life. And yeah, and I was talking to her a lot, and then I decided to myself, look, it's the last chance that I have. Even though everybody says I cannot do it anymore, I'm gonna study something, and that it's gonna I hope help me. And I made a private school of it was a like not only being a trainer in the way of workout trainer, you know, like physically, but it was more based on rehab and exercises that are built for specific way of moving.
Right, I see.
So I went into that during the process that I was healing myself too, and this helped me. So I was starting to understand, what do I do actually? Like, really, what do I do? What is not normal? Because as freestyle dancers, as dancers, especially in freestyle, we are doing movements that we don't know. We want to surprise also ourselves somehow. Of course, we practice, but when the moment is there and you feel the moment, you won't let go of things. And let go of things means also to bring your body in a certain position or in a certain way that it never felt before. It never expressed before in that way.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
And this is something that also our body needs to adapt. So in this schooling education that I made, this made me realize, look, yo, Batalla, you have been now dancing over 10 years and you never really pay attention to what your body is telling you in that moment also. How can you prepare your body for that? You know, like how like the whole thing wasn't on the right. I wasn't balanced. Let's say like this. I was really somebody who loved to dance, who loved music, who loved to learn and all this, but I was never the person that gonna be like, put me in a room just for myself and right now just breathe and feel my dance and all this kind of stuff. It was a social thing. As a young guy, you just want to go out and feel nice and dance and exchange. But I wasn't the person that saw dance in that way back then. But all this together made me combine. And then the big step was going out from the dance scene. This changed everything. This made the I don't know how can I tell you. It's like in German we say like it's like putting the Kirsche, like a sherry on top of
on the cake. Yeah,
on
yeah,
a cake,
on top
yeah.
of the cake. Yeah,
Because understanding that you are part of the community, you are part of the culture, but the moment you just see yourself in that is putting yourself also in a box.
Right.
It's you are limiting yourself somehow. And in the moment where I start to go away from battles, of course my way of expressing start changing.
Yeah.
And the way, the passion, my love for dance became so different totally. It was not anymore about I want to practice for myself and exchange and then go and compete with someone and that was fun. I was never like I want to beat someone or something. No, but I had fun in that. Turn into, look, my dance is just for me. no one else. Like, I just want to have my dance for myself and then express it to someone that maybe never understand what I'm going to say. As long as I understand, I'm good.
All right.
So it was more like, I don't care anymore how it looks. I don't care anymore what people think. I don't care anymore that it fits there or doesn't fit there. I didn't even care anymore about styles. All this kind of things didn't match anymore in the way I was thinking. So it was all these things that came together and start to change.
Right. I love what you're saying, because if there is one thing I truly believe in, is that the fact that the dance in the dance world is something that, yes, is nice to share and everything, but I also believe in dance privacy. And when we spend time to, just with ourselves and go looking within for the answers, it seems like this is where at some point you will be able to go to the next level. And as a freestyle dancer, I feel like the more you grow, the more the answers, you will find them within much more than outside. I'm not saying that you cannot learn from other people. You will always be doing this, but then you will double check inside before implementing. I don't know if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And I can feel as well that what you're saying, I can truly see it in your dance, because there is something really like true to, really authentic to the way that you're moving. So I'm curious to know, what is your training looks like now, because you've gone through this, kind of the phase where you are really looking for who is Batalla as a dancer. And I believe now you find it. And yes, you can make it, always better and improving, but I feel like you find it. So now that you find it, how does your training look like?
Like, from the part that after going through all this, my practice changed and had to change also because of the body that I am, the problems that I'm still dealing with, like after all these injuries. Of course, now I can dance. It took me 1.5 years after I went to several physiotherapists until today. Like, it never stopped. Like, I cannot stop anymore to work on my body. The moment I stop, give me 1 month, maybe 3 weeks, not working on my body, I'm gonna start having pain.
Yeah, you will feel the difference already.
Yeah. So this is like the power that told me, wow, if I can work on my body, I'm able to use it. And this was like, wow, I never believed in that really works.
Okay.
So my training nowadays, or the way I deal with my dance and training, because to train is one thing and just to dance is another thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see it differently.
All right.
Because I remember that then the first clutch that I had in the education was, you got to understand what is real practice. And I understood until I was 23. I never practiced. I never trained. I always but I never trained, And so nowadays I have parts where I just session. I have parts where I just dance, and parts where I train.
Okay.
And I would say I almost, like, let's say 4 or 5 times a week. In the morning, I do my workouts, for example. I have my regular things that I do, and they are all kind of combined with also movements that I do as a dancer. Like, it's not just like simply I just go and make workouts, but I have specific exercises that help me afterwards for my dance, because I move in a certain way.
Yeah. So this, you would put it in the training category, or
this work where I work on my body, I would put it part of train, because what I learned from myself, how I understood and felt, training is then when you know how you can, how's it in English? When you can control the things that you are doing, like when you know exactly this kind of, then you are training.
Yeah.
When you have a certain, you choose something that you want to work on for a while, and then you start repeating it. And this was something that I didn't have before, to be honest, because I went into the practice room, and of course I had a move, I have something that I was practicing, a foundation, a step, whatever it was, and I had fun with it. Okay, finished. But nowadays I'm gonna turn it totally differently.
Right, I see. So there's much more structure when you decide to train, right?
Exactly.
And you usually decide to kind of train on something in particular, and then you develop from there. Yeah, is that correct?
Okay. I develop. It depends. Like it can be this kind of practice, like the more structured way that helps. And then there's the days where I would say it's like going on a journey, call it going on a journey of discovery mode, where I am simply putting the music on, and I'm just listen to my body, where what he wants to say, and go from there.
All right. Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because this is a question that I got a lot, and with the students, like they're asking, how do you actually train, right now? Because when I deliver my information, then I try to kind of structure it in a way that I can that the students can benefit from it. But when I'm training, I do not follow the structures as much as before, because I feel like when I put the music, I start moving, and then I just let my body come up with the thing that I want to work on right now. And then if I feel like I've got some ideas with my legs, and I'm going to start playing with my legs for maybe 20 minutes. And then after that, I've got some other ideas on the floor work. And then, it just goes like this. Right. So I can definitely relate to this. So is this would you put this in the session category? So, or would you still call this training?
This is still training. If you're letting yourself go and are able to picking up, this is the point. Like you said, you just put the music on and you have an idea of playing with this step, and then you play it for a while, and then you maybe find yourself on the floor, but you know that your idea is now on the floor. This is still something different that just expressed without holding to something.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before was also for me the same, bro. I was just how to say, and I would say for me it was just session. I never practiced. I was just let's go.
Yeah, definitely. So now, in terms of when you say session, so session is it when you are exchanging with someone else?
Exchanging with someone else, or my time where I'm by myself and just want to let out things without holding or trying something.
All right, makes sense. Great. All right, so now we're gonna try to transition to something a bit more personal, because I do believe that what's happening in our life is kind of impact our dance journey as well, in many different ways. So this is something that I like to kind of step back and ask myself this question. What is the biggest risk, would you say, you had to take for dance to be where you are right now? So yeah, I hope so
voila, the biggest risk maybe connecting to this conversation would be the point where I decided that I want to keep dancing. In the moment where I was like, I was 23, 24, and everybody was telling me, look, it's not possible anymore. You have something on your spine and this and that. And it could go in the wrong direction. Imagine I would have spent another 4 or 5 years just trying to, and now still couldn't dance. And then it's
and to me, this is definitely a good one. And then I like the fact that you were able to get out from this, because some people stop dancing for less, for much less than that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So because I feel like, you know, the dance world is something where when you keep doing it, you really don't know what you're gonna have. And it's not like, okay, if you practice and you become a professional footballer, then you can make millions. It's not like this in dance, you know. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're going every day doing the thing, and you're passionate about it, but in terms of outcome, like you don't know what's going to happen, and
Mm-hmm.
chances are it's not going to be massive. So the fact that you were able to go out of this to get out of this situation and keep dancing, to me is definitely something that is um, inspiring, right? So this is why I wanted to ask you the next question, which is, now that you've gone through this and you are able now to be in a position where people actually know you as a well-known freestyle dancer in the game, and well respected as well because of the skills that you have. So what would you say Batalla keep doing for the next 5 years?
Bro, I don't know. To be honest, it's a good question. Like, how back then in funking styles time, you know, I really loved just to dance. It was back then I started because of my crew. I just wanted to have friends. I love to dance and all, and to
Mm-hmm.
express because of the language. I couldn't speak even German, just so I felt I'm in a conversation with someone, and to a position where I'm right now, respected as a dancer, and I really appreciate, same as people, all people inspires me as well. And to a moment where Faiz, I remember Faiz has a crazy conversation with me, and then he really put in my head and said to me, your responsibility is very big right now, because I was still young and I'm still young, you know, and he said it to
Mm-hmm.
me. And I stepped back and I was like, okay, I need to take care how we how to say this the hip hop, the whole thing, to the people that are watching it. I see a big responsibility in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what I would love to the next 5 years is to, yeah, if Corona let it happen, you know, keep putting in time and love into this culture, because the first reason I started with all this was really friends, communication, and being able to be accepted. This was the first thing. I step into the whole game and I fall in love with this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I just want to give back to people, because there's so many people out there that need something like that. There's
Right.
maybe someone who needs just someone who talk to them. There's maybe need someone who just stand in a circle and be like, listen to me in the way of dancing, you know what I mean, or
Yes.
expressing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is something, in the moment we can create a platform, different platforms for people, same as Beyond the Move. People connect there. It's so great what you're doing, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
this kind of things, I would like to also put work into it, because there is a lot of value inside this.
Mm-hmm. I see. So, you know, the reason why I asked you this question is because I remember seeing one of your posts on Instagram, and you were talking about the fact that um, you don't necessarily have goals, and that you you kind of let the let it go and surrender, you know, to life. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I can tell that you you have you are a vision person. So I can tell that you, it seems like, okay, you've got something in mind, and you're gonna work for it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like, okay, oh, I don't do nothing, I'm lazy, and then I let it go, you know. It's not that. You take action, but at the same time, it seems like you find ways to really surrender and just let things happen to you at the same time. So how do you manage this? Because, you know, the dance industry is very unstable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do you manage the fact that you have visions, you have certain things that you want to accomplish, but at the same time, you have the courage enough to step back and also trust the universe. So can you give me more details about that?
Wow. It's a good one, Nika, bro. Well, um, but it's really hard to get into this question, to be honest, bro. That's I'm a person who, like you said, yes, I don't like to have big goals in that sense. Like now I'm getting older, I have to say there is certain things in life that I want to change, or I see it as a goal, because now I'm getting older, you know. Now, like being still right now where I am, it's I have things in my head that I wanna do and have goals, something that I'm burning for. But in the same time, as experience, I learned, or that my personal experience teach me that I should not be too excited, too, how to say, too, you know, when you see yourself, okay, this is gonna happen and this I am right now, and then in the end it's not.
Yeah,
and it's
when you're
not.
too
And this
attached.
exactly this moment where it happens that no,
Oui.
we gotta be strong. We gotta be really strong to get out of this. It's the same. I felt this moment, for example, when they make this MRI in my back, in my spine, and they said it's over. You know, it's like somebody's take something from you, and this like, okay, how to move on right now. And to have this in my goals personally, I wanted to have this security of not feeling again ever like that. So I have something that I want to reach, and I go for it, but I'm like in a ninja mode, you know, like nobody can see me that I'm gonna reach for it, but the moment I'm gonna reach, I'm there.
Okay.
And you know what I mean, like that on the way, all the things that can happen, they can happen, but they're not gonna affect me.
Right. Yeah. Because you're not attached to the outcome that much anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like all the things that come in mind when Martha say, and Martha just say, and he's really good at it.
Hey, Martha. Yeah, I mean, so it's, and would you say that this is something that you are also applying in your dance, this philosophy? Would you say that you are actually applying this when you are dancing in the moment as well?
Yes, I would say yes. From the moment to just let things happen without forcing anything, because even in the moment when we dance, you know, you practice all the time, or we practice all the time, and of course, maybe if you're in a competition or something, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's this idea of this combo or this something, you are still forcing a little bit your body to go in a certain direction, maybe. Even though you're just freestyling, you're in the moment.
Yeah.
But this kind of thinking maybe help me to be in the moment, also maybe fully, not trying to force in any direction, not having like a basic in my head or move in my head in the moment that I want to do.
Okay.
And when it comes to styles, this was also something that break me all this, because I was somebody who really liked to learn different styles. Like I was dancing, also popping. I started kind of with popping, breaking, and swept over to house and then to hip hop, because hip hop for me was like, hey, what is hip hop? I don't know. It's too old, you know?
Yeah.
So I loved the music, but I couldn't catch what is hip hop freestyle, you know? I couldn't catch it back then.
Yeah.
And all these things made it like clash together and be like, okay, now I know that I can actually do whatever I want, because I understood this kind of point, like for me.
Yeah. Because I can tell, like, you're so spontaneous, you know, like yes, you have control because you've been practicing, but like in the moments, especially in battles, you're very spontaneous. So you just bam, let it go, and then okay, he does this, and it's almost like, okay, if I tell him to do the exact same movement, the same way he does it, he will not be able to do it, you know.
Many things won't happen, bro.
Exactly. That's the thing, and that's what I love about it as well, you know. So definitely it's something that that I cultivate a lot, because I think, like, in my case, life kind of forced me to learn to surrender because I'm really I used to be a lot goal driven. So if I've got something in mind, I'm gonna do what it takes to make it happen. But I was like extremely attached to the result, and this caused a lot of anxiety and stress. So the same thing that we are talking about right now, I do try to my best to uh, adapt it in my dance as well in the moment. So yeah, see, this is how magic happened, because sometimes I would see myself doing something and I was like, but I can't do this movement actually. If I try to do it right now, I can't do it. So I love this sensation, and I love seeing this result from other people as well. So now my question is, oh, okay. So you see, that's what I don't like using Zoom, because they're talking about 40 minutes.
Oh shit.
Contact your
Just do again.
Okay, to upgrade the Zoom. All right. Okay, so once again, I like to connect life and dance. And my next question is, what would you say if you had to recall three adversities? So three adversities that in the moment it was tough, and then because of this, you would say, okay, this is what made me stronger than ever before. So I understand already that the injury was one of them. So if you could give us two more, that would be great.
I saw just a second. I was just looking for what it means, adversity.
Like
Okay, yeah,
challenge.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
it. Like, like I just a side story. Like my English, like I can express myself, but this kind of words, they're like so on point. I'm still have to look for because I'm not sure.
Well, hey, trust me, I'm the same. English is not even my second language; it's my third language. So.
But bro,
So
it's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Adversity, I would say, I lost my crew.
Okay. All right.
This
So I
was
didn't know
something.
you were part of the crew before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we separate, and it made me really, really strong. Like it happened actually two times. Like the first crew that I was the youngest in, that was like the baby. And when you see yourself as the young one there and everybody's older and you just wanna don't wanna be just the little one, and then they split up, it's like the wall falls down. And then in the second one was one of them catched me to bring me to the totally breaking crew. And yeah, the second one, this made me but very strong.
Okay.
Another one,
Before you go to the second one, what is it like to be without a crew? Because is it something that now you feel like, okay, it's actually good, and I don't want to be part of a crew forever? Because the reason why I'm asking this is, when I first started, I was on my own, and then I met you, and then we started to hang out together. And after a year, I became part of the UDAT crew. So I'm actually the second generation of UDAT. The first generation is Jimmy, Sam, and since then I've always been part of a crew. So even though when we do a lot of things on our own, but we're still representing, the UDAT name. So I'm wondering, right now, do you feel like, okay, I would love to be part of a crew, or do you feel like, actually being alone and doing my thing is great?
I would say now, being like doing just my thing is perfectly great. Because it's not that I don't want to be part of a crew, but for me, a crew was really like a family. It replaced my family. I spent with them daily time. It was really a brother and sisterhood there, rather than to be just a crew and we bad, because there we yeah, we can say we chilled like almost every day together, all the time. We practiced together, even though like there were b-boys, like, you know, like it's not that I was searching for hip hop dancers to practice with or poppers, you know, like not at all. Like this was for me, my family. And once this split, you know, there's, I don't feel like I have a new family somewhere, you know, just like that.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah.
But
So
in the other side, I feel less like how can I explain to you? I can do just when it comes to my dance and all this without thinking anymore so much also about other people's, and you know what I mean, this in that way, because you are a crew, you know, you want to do things together and all this kind of things. So in this way, I have more focus for myself.
Right. Okay.
So you can say it out loud. It also gives you something, you know, like it's like in the different ways you can push yourself also in this way. It's like someone talking to you. And I think the moment that we understand that the dance, it's actually, it's not judgeable. You say this? Judgeable?
Yeah.
It's like that no one can judge your dance. No one can judge you for something that you are saying, like because it's your opinion, or it's the way you express, it's the way you want to feel, or you're feeling that you move, that you want to move.
Yeah.
So understanding this and really like feel this will made me also not care about zero about what other people think, or that I've this word, what did you, how was it, the word that you say, yeah, no, that you feel what other people think,
oh, that you don't care about what other people think.
yeah. It's wait, let me, it's hard to explain, to put into words, but yeah, yeah, in the end it really, it's about yeah, understanding that this is your body, your feeling, and no one can judge you for that.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember once you also mentioned on Instagram that I cannot tell you what is bad. I cannot say that what is bad about your dance. And I like and I enjoyed hearing this, because I do believe that there is no such things really as bad movements. It's just, you know, there's always room for improvement, but that's it. So what makes you think this way? Because because I think that when you understand that, this also can help many dancers really truly be free, because they understand that there's nothing bad about what they are doing. It's just we have different levels. So can you give me more details about that?
Good point. This point of really feeling free is exactly the moment where you cannot care anymore, not even about styles. Now we come back to styles. When we dance hip hop, we are putting ourselves in a certain border when we think this belongs to hip hop and this don't belong to hip hop. So wow. It's so what?
Hello?
Can you, bro, can you just repeat the question again so I hold directly the question?
Okay, no, that's fine, totally fine. So basically, it's maybe it was not really a question. It was more like having much more of your point of view on that. Because when I saw the comments, you know, because I think it's a dancer who asks you, oh, can you check my profile and give me some feedback on, you know, something like this, and and the way you respond, I felt like, okay, this is something that I can relate to, because you mentioned that I cannot tell you there is something bad, what is bad about you dance, because there's nothing bad about it, you know. So it's just matter of, you know, working on your craft and improving over time. So
Exactly.
I wanted to have more details about your thought process about this. That's it. Yeah.
So the moment that we spend for ourselves, like practicing, we start to have this kind of connection. Like I was telling before, for me, it felt I start to think like this after I get injured, and I start to see the whole thing so differently. To the moment where I understood that no one can judge me for the way I want to move, but they can judge me when we are in a competition for a style that we're doing against someone or in competition.
Yeah.
To then someone to tell me, oh, this is not right, or you should do it like this. There's always, like you said, there's room for to improve. And I'm always open to hear and receive ideas how I can learn and keep growing. This is not the point. But if someone comes to me and tells me what is bad about it, what is wrong, then I'm the wrong person to ask, because I don't see on no one something wrong. Right. The only thing I can see is, like you said, bro, like a big room for improvement. And mostly we come back to the basics. That means the reason why maybe I don't feel this dancers too much and maybe this one a lot is because this person himself is carrying himself as a person and know exactly what he do. Like personal wise, like he's feeling his body. When somebody start moving, I would say in the first few seconds, minutes, I don't know if I would say seconds, maybe it hurts so like strange, but I can feel when somebody is feeling his body and when somebody is just moving. You know what I mean? So this is the only thing that I directly, you can maybe when you see the person, video is so different also, but when you see it, this is the only thing that I can say, okay, this is something that I know right now that is working, that could help you right now. The rest, you got to ask your people, because the persons who can really give you good feedback are your people. Like if I just see someone dance for 10 minutes or even less, maybe just 1 minute, and the person wants a feedback from me, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna strictly lie if I'm telling you, look, you gotta do this and this and this and do this and this and this, because maybe it helps for this 1 minute, but I don't know the person else. Maybe this person didn't feel good in this 1 minute. Maybe this person never danced that way, actually. Maybe the music he or she didn't felt, there's so many things around. I don't know this person just because I hear and see this person 1 to 10 minutes.
Okay, good. All right. So obviously, I mean, fortunately, you already answered the question and everything, so that's good. Thank you for that, Batalla. So you know what, I could go on, and I really appreciate the energy that we have right now. But I also want to respect your time, so therefore I'm going to transition to some questions from the members, and then after that we're gonna stop. So, all right. So I think is the best thing to do is just we can unmute. You can unmute yourself to ask a question.
I have a question. Can I have it?
Yes.
It is actually Marco, a pretty simple one.
One sec, guys. One sec. Just to put a timeline. So right now is 8:26 on my side. Is that okay, Batalla, if we go up to 40? Like
45 is cool, bro.
Okay, so all right, so 8:45. All right, so we set the time to make sure that because there's so many things happening with technology since we started, so it took longer than usual. All right. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna start with Marco. And
that's great. Yeah, I'm gonna be quick. I'm trying to express myself to be clear so it makes sense. So since you were talking about this like judging, I mean, there's no bad in other people's dance, right? That was really cool thing you said. So I was thinking, like, when this is a little bit specific, but for example, Summer Dance Forever, there is like this really hard moment when they ask you, like, do you win or do you lose, right? And then it's really hard to be able to judge whether you win or not, because as you said, you feel yourself in the moment and you might not even consider the other person, like, because he in some way could win in his mind and you win in your mind. So that's why maybe sometimes you say I win, and he the other side say I win as well. Yeah.
So so at Summer Dance Forever, I tell you what I think about it in general. So of course, when we just dance, I'm in my moment and another person is in his moment. But when I battle, when I'm in a competition, we know who win and who lose. It's just about being honest. This is the point. Like I'm pretty sure when you're gonna battle someone, you're gonna know if you win or you lose against this person for yourself. If you really ask yourself, did I or did I not? It's in you, it's the answer. But then it's just the point of actually saying it or bring it out, and yeah, this is what I think about it. Like, because when we battle, it's a conversation. It's not, for me, it's not only about this is how I dance, now show me your dance. Okay, now 3, 2, 1, who dance was better? I think more in the way of conversation. Like somebody goes in, the other person reply, then you have another answer to it, and then the other answer, and then the judge or the people who are watching it, they're gonna judge a conversation. They're not gonna see like which dance was better right now. It was more like whose arguments was more on point. Like, who could even answer a question? Because like if somebody says, how are you? And the other person be like, oh, the sky is blue. There's no conversation. And this happens also in battles a lot.
That's really interesting point.
Like when you battle and somebody dance like this, and then the other person, which is, I understand we have different styles and all, but if you're able to start the conversation, this is for me the powerful part of in a battle.
God.
Like especially when you have 2 rounds. When you have 1 round, it's very hard. Like the first person enter, the second one can just reply, finish. But especially when you have 2 rounds, the first enter, you reply, and then you reply to this one, the conversation is on.
Yeah. I like that for sure. Okay. Any?
Yeah, Nikhil. Batalla.
Who's talking? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Deep.
Okay, Deep. All right, Deep from India. Great.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks Nikhil and Batalla for this amazing session. First of all, if I have to put this session in one phrase, then I can say that dancing is a meditation. Just that. If I may say so. So my question is, whenever I'm dancing, everybody has their comfort zone. Like they can do certain things onto certain songs, right? So my comfort zone, or I may say my I can do express myself whenever I'm dancing onto some emotional songs, or the songs which has the deep lyrics, I guess. So I can express myself better. At that time I don't feel conscious at all. But whenever I'm dancing like on the songs like like those onto beats, I just I made myself conscious, and what should I do, what should look it better, and in that way. So I always think about that. But so I'm just my question is, so what can I do myself to do the things better onto that particular song, like the which has the fast beats, and just kind of that. Even I know songs, if even I knew songs, I can't justice that song. That's the thing.
So very fast beat song, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So honestly, I understand what you mean. I get nervous too when I get beats. I totally feel you, because I have none of them in my music collection.
Yeah.
And when this is going on, I feel you. I just can say I feel you too. So I have 2 quick points. Point number 1 would be express that you don't like it. Be honest. You know, there's like even in like even footage from Summer Dance Forever, if you really watch closely, there's I think 1 or 2 rounds. I really hated that track. I really hated it. I danced like I hated it.
Yeah.
I was tired of the beat because I was like, okay, this made me tired. I'm gonna be tired right now. So in the end, it's just how you're gonna connect in the moment with the music, even though you don't like it. Some beats gonna always make inside you feel something, and some beats simply just gonna be there, and you gotta learn how to move to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah? And in the end, when it comes to competition, not to just dance, because when you dance, you have time. This is something so precious. This is your time, and you're not forced and under pressure. So you have time to sink into the beat. When you're in a competition, you have 1 minute. No matter if you like the track or if you don't like the track, you have 1 minute.
Right.
So what we gotta learn anyways, somehow, is how can we be on point? How can we express and be like, okay, we start, finish. Right. And in this 1 minute, feel for yourself, okay, I said what I wanted to say.
Right.
And not feeling like lost. But if we learn all these kind of things, it includes also the music, because we're gonna learn how to understand very fast how the music, how a track is built, even though you don't know it, or we sometimes we don't know the track. Let's say often in competitions, we often don't know the track because if the DJ is good, he's doing his homework.
Yeah.
So then we gotta like learn how we can feel the music in a very short time.
But thanks. Thank you so much. I got my answer. Yeah.
Thanks, Batalla. So, guys, any other question?
Yeah, I've got one question.
What's up, Jeremy?
I think it's Jeremy.
Hi, Batalla. Hi, Nikhil. Like I'm following you on IG, and I see like you really love hip hop, and like you're sharing those different kind of music, and around hip hop, like old school and stuff. And I'm also like a huge hip hop fan. And I was wondering, like, what does hip hop means to you? Because I felt like you really have a special connection with hip hop.
Well, hip hop means to me, it's of course lifestyle and all, but it's a form of expressing. It's like we in English, Sprachrohr. Wait, I need to.
Don't worry.
Wait, Sprachrohr. English. Mouthpiece. You know this megaphone, like when you're in a stadium and people, you can hear it very loud. Hip hop is this. This is hip hop. Hip hop is the voice mouthpiece for the conversation to somebody to be heard, for the youth. This is like what youth grab when they are young and they just want to have recognition. It's hip hop. You will find it in music, in rap, in dance, in graffiti, whatever it is, you will find it through hip hop. And then this is like the connection I have with it, that I feel this gave me my family. This made me who I am. Kind of, I get in touch with it because I was alone. I didn't have friends. I needed something and someone. And I stepped in, I saw it, I felt it. And right now I fell in love with it, and I want to keep doing it my whole life and spread it to people because it helped me. So this is the connection that I have with hip hop.
Thanks. It was really deep. Thank you.
Great. Actually, I'm gonna be cheating a little bit, because I've got one question that I feel like I need to ask this question before we go. Basically, I believe that if you want to really be great in a particular style, it can take a whole lifestyle. And for me, okay, this is my main site is hip hop, right? So I started to think, okay, how can I constantly enrich my hip hop style? So rather than trying to do many different style, I get inspired from different style and I add it to my own way of moving. So therefore, my inspiration are a bit from everywhere, but my focus is on hip hop. So sometimes people can see me, going on the floor. Some people can see me, doing some kind of crumping, but it's not crump, but, taking from everywhere. But on the other hand, when I look at you dancing and, watching some of your videos that you put outside, I feel like you manage to get good at several style and be great in hip hop. For example, me, I'm not necessarily very good at other style. If you tell me to do house, I will be moving like Nikia, but it's not gonna be house. If you tell me to do crump, it's not gonna be crump. I'm gonna be moving like Nikia. You see what I mean? But you will manage to do some good level of house, good level of popping, and great level of hip hop. And to me, this is not that easy to do because I know that I'm not able to do that as well as you. So my question is, how do you manage to maintain some kind of good level on the others and still pushing your hip hop freestyle to a high level? I'm curious to know, how do you manage that?
First, appreciate, bro. Boy, like I said before, I actually didn't start with hip hop, and I don't see myself as I am a hip hop dancer or my main style is hip hop. I would say I express myself in hip hop freestyle in competitions because no one can tell me anything. Like, I'm telling you honest, it sounds strange, but I tell you the reason why. I enter popping battles the first. Okay, it was hip hop, but it was not hip hop because everybody was doing something. Like back then, we didn't know what we were doing, So let's say the first real competition that it was like, okay, we entering was popping. For the popping dancers, I was not popping enough. Okay, I enter house battles. For the house dancers, I was not house dancer enough.
Okay.
And I do respect all this because I had to do my homework. Like you said before, you gotta concentrate on one style to be able to really focus on that. Like house, I remember I was practicing house so much. And it took me, I think, 2 years till it make in my head, now I understand the feeling. Just the feeling. After 2 years, really practicing. It made so much sense. Like the Pari Boré or something like this made so much more sense. And it was so, I feel it now, even though I was doing it for years. And yeah, in hip hop was kind of the same back then here. So I was entering hip hop battles and people were telling me, look, it's so much popping inside. I was really using popping in hip hop. Like back then, what you can see nowadays a lot, I was doing back then, but for the people here, they were like, no, this is too much popping. Okay, let's change a little bit.
Okay.
For the next time was a little bit too much house. I'd be like, okay, then, okay, it's too much house, too much popping, too much this. Okay. The first time I met Wiggles, I couldn't speak English, not at all, but he could speak Spanish, and he came up to me and he was like my biggest inspiration. And he came up to me and said that if I can dance salsa, he can see it. And I'm like, yeah. And then he said, I would like you to do this because this is hip hop. My world fall down. I was like, the whole time people tell me this is not hip hop, this is not hip hop. And then, do salsa because there's a big influence in it. And top rock and breaking is hip hop. I didn't know what hip hop was. This was the mix of everything. And I asked him, popping can I do? Of course, you gotta learn. you gotta learn how to bounce while you pop. Okay, now that makes sense. Can I use house? You say, yeah, change the kind of feelings that you put into it. You understand the house feeling? Yes. Change the feeling, put something into it. And then conversations with Hiro. Like I have met through the last years, people like Hiro, like Wiggles, that have really changed totally my way of seeing the foundation and basics and all this. Like I stick to house a long time. I stick to popping, and I'm practicing popping the most. I love popping. I love it the most.
All right.
And since I understood how I can use this kind of foundation, because I really practice like a popping dance, I would dance popping. Like really, I'm not trying to be the hip hop way of popping of mine. I try to learn all the foundations of popping and then to understand, and then I can apply. The moment I take this into hip hop, this is where the touch comes, like where I start mixing up and get rid of all the things that are not popping or are not considered as it's not popping. I put it into the hip hop.
I see. Okay. So you spent years training on these other styles. So this is why now you are able to express them so much individually, but as well as in your hip hop style. Okay.
Exactly.
I get it. All right. Yeah. So that's good to know. Yeah. I mean, okay. So guys, one last question, and then we're gonna stop. Okay. In case if you have one last question.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi guys. First, I want to welcome this. This is a great because the conversation like this doesn't make you feel crazy when you are alone, you know.
Yeah.
So I really welcome this, especially in Croatia we are closed again. So actually I was preparing the questions, but you, Nickel, you were having such a nice flow. I really like it. It's like you just done it. Whatever I was asking, you were doing for me.
That's good.
Yeah, so actually, the thing that I noticed with Batalla dance, which I follow him before, is that kind of a switch that you're talking about, which is like kind of that awareness shift kind of that happened to you after the injury. So basically, which proves things that Nicole also talks about in his school, that mindset is really, really important. And I can totally see that what to say to younger dancers when they're asking you, you know, I'm stuck. What should I do now? So, you know, is this the part for you as a teacher that you are not going through the boundaries, like going deep with them and saying, you know, maybe getting into it in a private or emotional level? Or because I think when you're stuck, I think you need to shift somewhere here.
I think so too. You're totally right. Yeah.
So do you have some kind of do you have this kind of conversation with your students?
Me less. They love to talk with Marta more about this stuff. They all come to Marta. Marta can have for hours this kind of things. Like me, yes, but not so much. But I definitely agree on you that that we need to shift the way we think so much. I see it also as we learn. I think.
Sorry, Batalla. Just to let you know, guys. So it's gonna cut again in 5 minutes, right? So and it will be over. All right. So I'm gonna let you finish, Batalla, and then just to warn everybody. All right. Keep going.
Right, I'm just gonna wrap it up very fast. So. Now I forgot what I wanted to say.
Shifting the perception.
You know, the shifting. That when we learn in the, let's say, the first 5 years, I remember where I started to dance, I learned so much. I learned like in a year, I was like, boom. And I felt like, wow, I'm learning so much. But then I get also into this, I get stuck. I was like, I was processing so fast. And right now I feel like I'm not going further. And it was exactly this thing that made the difference, that I start to think more, that I start to use my brain a little bit more and think about simple things like how much do I really love dance and all this kind of things that made it for me in my lifestyle and the way I saw dance a big difference. Yeah.
See, great. All right. So guys, thank you so much, you know, for being with us today, because you know, at the beginning the conversation was not easy due to technology and stuff, but we made it happen and we had a good time. And I want to say a big thank you to Batalla for taking the time to do this. And we definitely gonna be staying in touch because chatting with you like this is really valuable for the members and as well as for me. So once again, thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the invitation, and we stay in touch for sure. And thank you guys also for taking the time and joining in. Yeah.